Hi, this is Erica Peterson, owner of EP Realty with Realty One Group Signature. Welcome to Community Connection, where I interview local business owners. And today I'll be speaking with Amelia Larson, owner of A L.I.F.E for Seniors. Amelia, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining me today. And with that being said, we're going to jump right into the questions. Would you please describe your business?
Definitely. So it's a senior placement company. I help local families or seniors find the best senior living situation based off of their needs and budget and things like that. So it's a no-cost resource, and I work with all the different buildings.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you. And who do you usually help?
Yeah, so kind of two parts. A lot of times I work with family members that have a aging parent that they're just noticing maybe they're not safe as home as they would like them to be, or occasionally I help people look for themselves or their spouses.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah.
And what is the cost to your services?
So it's a no-cost service, so kind of similar to you. I work with families. I have contracts with different buildings, and the buildings is who pays me a referral fee if someone moves in. So I have it set up as a flat fee though, so I don't have a bias of where I refer you. I don't make more money if you spend more money, so it allows me to really help find the right place based off of the family's needs.
Oh, that's a wonderful service.
Yeah.
What's the benefit of working with you?
So kind of similar to, I'm sure, how a lot of your clients feel. You know, if you're not going to buy a house without a realtor, why find a senior living community without a senior living, kind of liaison? I can help families look at things that they might not know to look for, like staffing ratios, things like that. I think a lot of families too don't plan for this time in their life. A lot of times we think we can keep our loved ones at home, and sometimes it's just not the safest option for them. So allowing families to see the benefits of moving, along with, if you're working with a specific budget or things like that, finding a community that fits within the realm of what you're looking for.
Nice. And also, when should you start the process?
Yeah, so a lot of times families don't start it early enough, and a fall happens and their loved one ends up in a rehab, and then they get the call that says they're discharging next week and they can't go home. So I always say the sooner the better. There's no harm in starting to look, especially because it allows your loved one to be a part of the whole experience and has a little bit more input as to what they would like to have and what they wouldn't like to have. But I'm able to help people even if it is an emergent situation, but with such a sensitive decision, always more time the better. But we can work with whatever we have.
Awesome. And what is your experience?
Yeah, so my entire career has been in the senior living industry. Before starting this 4 years ago, I used to run assisted living and memory care communities, and I've done every other position within them, from activity director to marketing to CNA. So I really feel like when we talk about buildings, I can help point out things that actually are important, not just the chandeliers, because I always say those don't take care of your person that you're moving. So I think just that experience really allows some different insight, as well as kind of can help you have that conversation or get different family members on board when the time comes.
Nice. Your expertise is key. Looks like you've done it all.
Yeah.
What is something that most people don't know about the business?
So a lot of people don't even know that this type of business exists. So a lot of times I've heard from families, man, I really wish I knew about you before I had to do this, or I don't know what we would have done without you had we not known about you. So I think my biggest situation is just lack of education of people knowing that this is a service that is a no-cost service. So there's really no harm in using me, but why not use me? So I think just letting people know it's here, you need it, or anyone you know needs it. I'm a great resource.
Nice. People listen, use her. It doesn't cost you a dime. Do that.
Yeah.
What would your customers say they love most about the business?
I think a lot of people have felt that I've just taken a lot of the overwhelming feeling out of it. So, for example, like if you have a dad who needs to go to a community, you call me, you can tell me your price point, what they need help with, where you're trying to keep them around. And then I'll reach out to buildings on your behalf and gather like who has availability, what their pricing is, yada, 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 connect them to you and help you set up tours. So instead of you having to Google and have everything present very similar and go on a million tours, I can help kind of narrow down the process. Along with it's a big emotional decision. So,
Mm.
to talk through how you're feeling. And, I've had a lot of families that have thought I'm moving into building A, like that's what's happening. I don't know why we're talking to you. And then after working with me, have moved into a complete different building, not having known a lot of things, before their search had started. So, yeah.
Whoa, I like it. What would you say? What would customers say they love most about your business, which is what we talked about? So, what are your goals for the next year?
Yeah, I think just being able to spread the word and getting in front of more families to be able to help them. I think that moving into senior living, while it has a really bad stigma, can be really awesome. I think a lot of times we think about, 15, 20 years ago when it was very much like a shared room and felt like a prison. But now they're very much like a lot of them will be referenced as cruise ships on land because they provide, stimulating activities. Some have pools, great food. So there really is something out there for everyone. And the benefits that come along with it, just the lack of isolation is huge in this population. So just getting the word out and helping people know what's out there.
Yeah. Well, hopefully this will help a little bit with that.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Yeah. What are your greatest challenges?
So I think really just the awareness, just letting people know that I'm here for when they need me. And I think too, just reiterating that there is no secret catch to using me. You don't pay more on the back end, like in a building or things like that. But I think just knowing that there is a resource and there's no harm in using it. I always tell people like go Google A L.I.F.E for seniors and you can read the reviews from families. But I think that's just always the biggest challenge is just the awareness.
That's true.
Yep, I know you know that. Yeah.
With our business, like you
Yes,
said, we do everything for free. All we're doing is helping. And I really hope that people really take advantage of what you're getting to offer them.
definitely.
um, why do you think it's important for people to shop local?
So there's a couple of other placement companies that are national companies, and I don't feel like they have the same knowledge base that you do when you do shop with someone that's local. I think the advantages are I've been in the buildings. I know the people that are running the buildings. I know their reputations. I've ran them. I've toured them. I've worked with them. When you talk to someone on a national scale, you're talking to someone in Illinois who's never been to Utah. So how do they tell you, where the best place for your loved one is? So I think always working with local, you get to support your own community and you're alongside people that are familiar with what you're needing.
You said a mouthful. I agree. What are some of the people in your life that influence you to do what you're doing?
Yeah. So growing up, my grandpa was paralyzed, my dad's dad. Right before he was born, he was hit by a truck driver and was paralyzed. So he was like one of those guys that was never going to move into a senior community. And so we did home health for a while, and eventually it did get to the point where he just needed that extra assistance. So we spent a lot of time volunteering in skilled nursing homes and assisted livings. And so mainly him, and then it kind of just continued. My uncle had cancer and my grandma had a stroke. And so just between the three experiences, I wanted to make a difference. And that's how I got into it, and I loved it. And then I just noticed when families came into tour that I wanted to help them be educated and making the decision, not necessarily just being in charge of one building.
Oh, wow. What you're doing is such a great deal. Thank you for that. How do you motivate your employees?
Yeah, so right now it's mainly just me. I work, so they're not really my employees, right? All the different buildings that I work with. But I think the biggest feedback that I get from the buildings that I do work with is just communication. There's a lot of other placement companies that don't communicate and they don't individualize anything. They just hand you a list and say, here's some buildings, go check it out.
Yeah.
So I think, by being able to keep everyone on the same page and kind of being that middleman has been huge. And so a lot of people prefer to work with me over others specifically for that reason.
Great job.
Thanks.
Communication is key to everything we do, especially when you work for yourself.
100%. Yeah.
Well, this one I'm actually really going to leave up to you. One more. What is the best way for new customers to reach out to you, or if they have any questions about your services?
Yeah. So I would say you can either email me. My email is Amelia, so Amelia at alifeforseniors.com, or my website, alifeforseniors.com. There's a form on there that you can fill out that kind of answers some, a couple little questions that just help me get a better idea before we talk, so I can have a better idea of what we're going to talk about. But you can also call me. My number's on the website, so whatever works best for you.
Nice. And this one, I'll let you have it. Anything extra that you want anybody to know about?
Yeah, no, I think just reminding yourself that it is a hard decision to make when facing the time to look at senior living, but to just remind yourself you're not looking at it because you're failing, but you're looking at it because you care, and to take advantage of the resources, whether it's me or Erica, when you need to sell someone's house in order to afford assisted living or something like that. So yeah, no, I think just use the community that you have, and everyone is there to support you.
Nice. Thank you. I'm so excited for people to see your interview. What you're doing is helping so many people in many, many different ways. Everyone, please watch the video. A huge thank you to our guest, Amelia Larson, owner of A Seniors for Life. Thank you so much for coming to the show. This is Erica Peterson, owner of EP Realty with Realty One. Tune in for our next episode of Community Connection, where I interview our local business owners and have them help you with any needs you need. Thank you again, Amelia.
Thanks. See ya.